Alright, Terrence Pop here with another episode from the Lair. Okay, we're going to continue on with some CQ stories that took place while I was at second bat. Now, CQ stands for Charge of Quarters. If you haven't watched some of the other videos, basically when the commander and first sergeant leave the company area at the end of the day to go home, the CQ is the guy in charge of quarters. He has a CQ and a CQ runner. CQ is usually an E5, and the runner is E4, down to, Joe Snuffy, Joe Shitbag, new guy. Okay, now the CQ has a logbook. He has the phone numbers to the first sergeant and the commander. And he has the keys to every locked room inside the company area except the arms room. So if you need to get into a door, you got the key ring. Boom, there you go. All right. Now, at second bat, you came up on a DA6, which supposedly randomly selects you for CQ. Do I think it was random? Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I've been a first sergeant. I don't know how that shit works. So, for the most part, it was run, like it was everywhere else in the Army. It wasn't really too fucking corrupt or fucked up, but there was definitely some hanky-panky going on. But, looking back on it now, it's really not a big deal. Now, I don't know if this process still goes on at B Code 275, but when you had CQ, there was a old metal cup on top of the desk right there at the main entrance, and it was painted blue, and written on the cup it said Drone Fund. So basically, come 5, 6 o'clock at night when everything slows down, everyone likes to drone out, and people, would walk by and throw a couple, bucks inside the cup, and you go down and get a Coke or a Snickers or whatever, and keep yourself awake. Because the shift starts at 9 in the morning and it ends 9 the next morning. It's a 24-hour thing. If it was real slow, usually let your runner get some rack, so he could have the next day off and then really not have to sleep all day or whatever. I usually didn't really sleep too much. I've never been one to oversleep or need sleep, excessively. So I usually just took the next day off and fucked about like any young 21-year-old guy would do. Okay, so we had this tradition where, some transgressions would take place, and you would just basically say, I'm going to walk down there to the Coke machine, and I'm going to get a Coke. Now, if I come back here, and there's $2 in the drone fund, I didn't see anything. So basically, you could say it's kind of an extortion kind of thing, even though everyone knows, unless it's egregiously fucked up, you're not going to write any fucked up shit in the log, because the first sergeant would come in there and be like, what happened here? What's going on? And ask a bazillion questions. And if any craziness was going on, then he would go talk to people, and people would get fucked up, have to do road marches and what have you, and then everyone's pissed at you for, fucking them. Okay, granted, there are some instances where you have to put shit in the log, like if somebody gets hurt or, there's a fight or, there's a lot of witnesses to some bad shit. You got to put it in there, or it could go south. And there's a few times where, I really should have put shit in the log, and I didn't, and I basically, did the Hail Mary, hope I don't get fucked over thing, and I got away with it. Okay, and probably saved, a lot of other Rangers from getting fucked up, and maybe a few of their careers. Now, as the CQ or the CQ runner, you basically walk through the barracks once an hour, and then walk around the building, check out the parking lot, make sure that, since the chow hall was right behind our building, we'd make sure all of the chow hall doors were locked and secured. And then you just write it in the log, did rounds. Okay, so the best days to get CQ were a Friday and a Saturday night, because if you played your cards right, you could make a decent amount of money in 1988, 89, and 90 money, And I was not the best at this, but I would say I was in the top 3 or 4. Some guys were incredibly ruthless at this practice. I wasn't as bad. For instance, it's, I don't know, it's probably 10 o'clock at night. I just did a walkthrough of, the 3 floors to the back of me, because the building looked like a big H. It was 3 stories high, and then there was a big hallway that ran the length of it, and that too was also 3 stories high. And I would quickly just walk up and down, and I would check it, just walk through, make sure there wasn't any super turbo craziness going on, or if there was any craziness going on, people shut their fucking doors, because the less fucking witnesses you have to fucked up shit, the better off you are. So I'm walking around the barracks on the outside, and I remember I'm walking along that strip of grass that's between the barracks and the parking lot, and I round the corner and I take maybe 10 or 15 steps, and I hear a rope. Okay, now, in the corner of my eye, I saw that they had a woman on a rope, and they were hauling her up to the 3rd floor. So she was somewhere around the 2nd floor. Now, from what I could see, this particular woman was not particularly gravity friendly, if you know what I mean. She was a little bit thick, not huge, but not super skinny either, not a thinny. She had a little bit of meat on her bones. So I didn't, and I knew if I, said something or, made a fuss, that the fuckers up there would drop her, and she would fall 2 stories down and get all fucked up. And then if I tried to fucking, hammer them, they're like, well, she wasn't in the barracks. I don't know what happened. I'm like, okay, cool. So I keep my cool. I finish the rounds. I figure, I'm going to walk up there. I'll be up there in 5 or 6 minutes. So I come in the building, take out the key ring, for the whole barracks. I go outside again and I count the windows to make sure I get the right room. I go up to the 3rd floor, go to the end of the hallway, and count the doors back. It was the 3rd door from the end, and I put the lock in there and I open it up. And lo and behold, there are 3 women in there, because there's no women in the barracks back then, period. I mean, you can't do it. There's 3 guys, 3 chicks. There's some nefarious shit going on. You know what's going on. There was just a boatload of shagging going on. That's what's going on. So I turn on the light, and it was just the music stopped, and everyone's looking at me what the fuck? And I'm like, all right, what the fuck is going on here, Rangers? Are you that goddamn cheap that you can't throw $5 in the drone fund, and I'll look the other way for 2 or 3 fucking hours while you have your little fucking whatever you're gonna do up here? Is that how we're running things now? You rather haul a chick on a fuck. I'm like, all you 3, get the fuck out of the room. I take them out, and they put on some shorts. Take him outside, and I smoke him for 10 fucking minutes. And I tell him, I said, this is what's going to go down. I'm going to be at the desk for another 10 fucking minutes. I got 20 to midnight. From 11:50 to midnight, I'm going to be checking the other side of the barracks. Now, if I come back here to the drone fund, and there's $5 in the cup, I will not check the left side of the building for 2 hours. And that was it. I just said, fucking, you're gone. Do what you got to do. Make your decision. Went down, did my deal, came back, $5 in the drone fund. I didn't check the barracks. What happened, happened. Because let's face it, men will be men, chicks will be chicks. Trying to keep them apart from doing an upgrade doesn't do anybody any good. Because they'll figure out some dangerous shit and it's going to happen anyway. Another one, okay. This is very similar. Now this took place on the same floor, but instead of 3 rooms from the end, it was 5. And it was about 2 weeks, no, not 2 weeks later. It was about 6 to 8 weeks later. This is a Saturday night. And I'm down there, it's 11 o'clock, maybe 10. And I'm just, not doing nothing, reading a book, because, we didn't have laptops. There's none of that, phones or none of that bullshit. None of that shit existed. In fact, I think the CQ phone had a fucking dial. It was one of the rotary fucking phones. So I hear a hairdryer, the stairwell, coming down from the stairwell. Now, this is back in the day when the Rangers all had high and tights. So basically, the side of your fucking head is buzzed down as low as it goes, and you have maybe a half an inch on top of your head period. And it's like a modified mohawk, but it doesn't go all the way down the back of your head. It's just on the top. So I'm sitting there like, what vain motherfucker needs to use a fucking hairdryer when everyone in this building has a goddamn high and tight? So I reach in the drawer, pull out the fucking ring of keys. I go walking up there because I just want to see who this vain motherfucker is that's using a fucking hairdryer on hair that's not even a half an inch long. Pull out the key, open the door, and there is this fucking woman standing there, not a lick of fucking clothes on her. Platinum blonde, hair down to about her mid-back. I mean, she's got a serious 8.5 body and about a 9 face. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. Green eyes, light green eyes. And I open the door and I'm like, holy shit! So I'm like, what the fuck? And the one ranger, you know, this wasn't like anything. I mean, obviously some crazy shit was going on, but I don't know how the whole floor was in on this because she was actually coming over, sneaking in there every once in a while, using the shower. And then, you know, nobody would say anything. So I'm like, I had to, you know, look at her for a good minute and a half. I looked at her long enough to become semi-awkward, okay? How could you not look at something like that? I mean, she was maybe 20 years old. I mean, she was fucking, it was there, man. It was there. That dude fucking, that was a good one. So, you know, I'm like, hey, come here, motherfucker. You know, I pull him out of his room. I bring him back down to the desk, and I'm like, okay, Ranger, what the fuck's going on? And he gives me the fucking, you know, soft shoe fucking story, the wah crybaby story. And in my mind, I can see him throwing the sand on the floor and doing the soft shoe to try to fucking sell me some bullshit. And I'm like, Ranger, this is how it works. All right. You got a woman in the fucking barracks. I don't care if she's your girlfriend, your fiance, your wife. I don't fucking care. If she's your wife, you need to move the fuck out of the barracks. So that's not the case. All right. So this is what's going to happen. I'm going to go get a Coca-Cola, and I'm going to check the other fucking side of the fucking barracks. When I come back, it'll be $2 in the drone fund, and this shit never happened. And whenever you feel like you got to sneak her in or do whatever you got, and I'm sitting at this desk, it's just a fucking $1, bro. $1. Just $1 in the drone fund. I looked the other way, and it never fucking happened. You know, come on. What do you got to be afraid of, dude? I'm Pop. It's all good. He's like, Roger that, you know, yeah. It is what it is. And she went away. I watched her leave, and I was just like, oh my God, that woman is so fucking beautiful. Why can't I ever be that lucky and pull some good ass like that? Jesus Christ. Yeah, so it is what it is. And every now and again, you know, you get like 3 and 4 day weekends on federal holidays. So, like if you have CQ on a Wednesday night and you have a Thursday and Friday off attached to a weekend, that Wednesday night becomes like a Friday because those dudes, they fucking go nuts for 4 fucking days. And sometimes 4 days and a little bit because they're all like 19, 20, 21. And you can drink, you know, a liter of Jack Daniels every night and then get up at 5 in the morning and run 5 miles and not have a headache or a hangover. Try to do that shit at 40 some odd years old and you're going to wake up probably in a coma and run yourself into dialysis. I'm just saying, so don't do that. And if there's anybody out there that is that age and doing that, comments below because you're a fucking stud. Because I lost my ability to do that roughly around 26. So it is what it is. Okay, so I got the naked girl in the barracks, woman on a rope. All right, so I'm on CQ and it's a Wednesday night, 4-day weekend. I get the usual speech from the commander on his way out. You know, all right, Bob, anything crazy goes on, you just fucking call me. We'll fucking handle it. You know, try to keep it in the house. Don't let fucking go nuts. He leaves. First sergeant comes in, and he was from Guam, and he had this fucked up accent. And he'd be like, Ranger, any craziness, you go psychological on them, install them, and call me. I'm like, Roger that. I'm not going to say the first sergeant's name. If you knew who it was by how I did my imitation of him, which probably isn't that good, comments below, because that motherfucker was hilarious. Wasn't a good first sergeant. He's a good guy, but, you know, he was fucking hilarious. So, you know, I'm there at the fucking desk. It's about 8 o'clock at night. And sure as shit, the door opens and Ranger walks in with a case of beer. I'm like, all right, Ranger, all right. You decided to drink in the barracks. That's so responsible of you. Aren't you 19? And I get I tell you what I'm going to do. Since you're being so responsible, I'm going to go down and get a Snicker bar. I come back, there's $1 in the drone fund, and you clean up your fucking mess. That's never fucking happened. That night, I made about 60 fucking bucks. You know, it is what it is. You want to say it's mean? You want to say I'm being I was being an asshole? Yes, I was, and I wasn't. I think I was pretty lenient, you know, and I'll get onto some of these stories down the road, you know, where I saved a couple guys' asses from getting DWIs. Let's see. I remember kept one ranger from beating his wife. I had to go there and fucking tool him up a little bit because the MPs were really good about that. They would call you before they would go to a domestic and say, hey, we're going to be there in 15 minutes. If you get there in 10 and diffuse the whole situation, it never fucking happened. Back in the day, the MPs used to be cool like that. Now they're just a bunch of dicks because I think they're civilian cops there at Fort Lewis and they don't give a fuck about anybody. And they just care about their numbers and, you know, shit like that. Fuck the Joe and the pressure he's been under, you know, fuck that guy. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. Anyway, I think we're coming right up on like 15, 16 minutes. It's kind of a short night. One more, what the fuck. All right, you're going to love this one. So this particular time, I was on CQ. And it was during the week, so it was a boring fucking thing. I think it was a Tuesday. It was about 7 o'clock in the afternoon. No, 7 in the evening, sorry. And some guy comes down, and he's coming down from the, you know, I think it's the same side where I found the fucking, you know, the naked chick and the fucking 3 fucking barracks whores or whatever. And one ranger comes down, he's like, oh, no, sorry, Pop. I just thought you should know that we got a ranger setting up a .22 caliber range down the main hallway. And he's shooting, you know, a .22, you know, CB caps and stuff like that. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here, Ranger. Nobody's fucking, no way. Come on. You guys are fucking with me. You know, I didn't take him at his word. So he goes out to do his deal. I think he was getting his car or whatever and going out into town. So I'm reading a book, doing my deal, and I fucking hear this. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I hear it again. You know, it wasn't quite a crack of a .22. It was like a muffled cap gun. I put the book down, and I walk up there, and sure as shit, again, on the 3rd fucking floor, this dude had set up, this one ranger had set up like this steel fucking trap, and he had it marked off at 25 meters, and him and 6 other rangers were practicing rifle marksmanship with a .22 caliber rifle shooting CB caps. So I walk up there, I catch them all red-handed. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Shooting a goddamn gun in the barracks? Are you out of your goddamn mind? I read them the riot act. I fucking clear the rifle, unload the fucking thing. I fucking smoked this shit out of them. I had them holding duffel bags over their fucking head, doing the iron chair, you know, 20 minutes for the jumping jacks with, I mean, it was just fucking, I smoked the dog shit out of them. And then, you know, I said, hey man, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to call the armor. He's going to secure this weapon in my locker, which I have with all of my other weapons in the arms room. Tomorrow morning, we'll open the arms room, you can have it back, and you'll put it in your fucking car, or you'll make arrangements for either stay in the arms room or go the fuck away. And I want you to pick up all of this goddamn brass right now, and I don't want you to throw it away in the barracks. You're going to hand walk that shit to the fucking PX and throw it in their fucking trash cans because it's not coming back here. All right, and the rest of you motherfuckers are going to strip this floor down to nothing, and then you're going to mop the floor, and then you're going to re-fucking wax it and buff it to a nice fucking IG inspection shine. or I'm going to write this shit in the log that I found all 7 of you motherfuckers firing a weapon into fucking barracks. Oh, and this fucking trap you have going on here, I don't care what we do with it, but this fucking thing has got to go away. It's not staying in the barracks, because I'm not burning for this, and neither are any of you motherfuckers, so I'm helping you from being dumbasses. Now make it fucking happen. I will be back in 15 fucking minutes, and I want to see this floor fucking stripped by then. Get to it. And that was it. They were fucking... It took them like 2 hours to unfuck the floor and get it all squared away, and that's the way it went. All right, man, that's it. That's all I got for today. I hope you liked it, and I'll talk to you later.